I just deleted 241 photos of 247 from today's shoot. I'm still not sure if the 6 I kept are good enough. If you're a creative who thinks everything you make sucks, this one's for you. I could spend hours hiking, hours shooting, hours editing, and you know what? I could get nothing that I thought was good enough. Good enough for what? Good enough for who? I couldn't tell you. I'm back out here at Frontenac Provincial Park for another amazing fall hike. Awesome colors right now. Just beautiful. And I've been thinking a lot about how my photography is progressing and what I need to work on and what I need to focus on. And one of the things that's holding me back, I think, is just that feeling that nothing is ever good enough. Like, any picture I take is worthless. It's just, why bother? It's that same attitude that I've been speaking about. And it's just really not helpful. Sure, there are photos that you're going to take that, you know, maybe they're technically not great, or focus is off, or exposure's off, or something simple like that. But when everything's technically right and you just, whatever reason, you just hate it. I am my own worst critic. And so it's difficult, really. Without a group of people that who are creative in the same field as you and whose opinion you trust, it's difficult to really get a grasp on what you need to work on. 'Cause sometimes you can just not see it. You can identify that there's just something that's not clicking with your photography or your writing or whatever it is. Sometimes I just delete everything, and it's really not helpful. And I think what would be most helpful is if I had a group of people whose opinions I trusted and could share with them and get some valuable data, some valuable critical analysis. And so I was looking into joining photography groups and things like that in my area, and we'll see if that happens. Sometimes the structure can be hard. You know, a regular meeting or something that you have to go to, sometimes that can be hard, especially for me, because I'm kind of all over the place and I just kind of do things whenever I get the energy to do them, and it's not often that I get that energy. And just like right now, I have to force myself out of bed and get up and get going. And it was gray, it's gray now, and it's not the best weather. It's not great light. It's kind of dim. It's kind of not great, but I'm out, and that's what matters. I'm putting the work in. I'm out here. I got a great hike ahead of me. Check it out. Look at that. Hold on a second here. You mean to tell me you're watching this video and you haven't hit like yet? Whoa. For shame, for shame, for shame. That negativity and that feeling of not being good enough is just not helpful for your creativity. You can be critical and that can help you improve, but if you take it too far, you'll never improve because you'll never share anything. You'll never put anything out there. And yeah, it's just detrimentals. It's just detrimentals. It's detrimental. I can spend hours hiking, hours shooting, hours editing, and you know what? I could get nothing that I thought was good enough. Good enough for what? Good enough for who? I couldn't tell you. But what I can tell you is what was happening in my brain. People laughing at my attempt at art, mocking what I called progress. Just the absolute worst case scenarios of criticism on repeat. That would keep me stuck in a trap of self-doubt and perfectionism. I'd cull my photos, cull some more, and then feel unsure about what was left. As Ira Glass famously said, when you start creating, there's generally a wide chasm between your taste and your skill level. You can see the photo you want to take in your head. Perfect composition, perfect lighting, a perfect moment captured. But then when you take the photo, you think to yourself, it looks like I've never held a camera before. You can forget that you just started. You can forget that not being great yet is literally part of the process. But we live in a world where if something doesn't get 1,000 likes, you think it's worthless. And that's creativity poison. I know because I've been there. I know exactly how powerful that self-doubt can be when you're measuring your worth in engagement metrics. How long have I felt this way? My entire life. For as long as I can remember, confidence has been a struggle. And when you're creative, that fear of rejection becomes background noise you can't turn off. Not good enough. Why are you even trying? Why are you even trying? Not good enough. You look foolish. Why are you even trying? You look foolish. I've talked before about how comparison and envy didn't just steal my joy. They made me quit photography for 5 months. 5 months because I convinced myself that my work didn't matter. But it's not just happening then. It's always happening. It was happening when I was writing this script. I was staring at a page for an hour, just brain dumping anything that came up. Just wanted to get words on the screen, and I couldn't find the right ones. And the whole time, that voice in my head going, this is stupid. Nobody's gonna watch. They'll think it's stupid. Or worse, they'll think you're stupid. They'll hate you for being vulnerable. And yet, here I am. I still wrote. The point is, I struggle every day to overcome those feelings of not being good enough. And it's something I'm working on. I've just started listening to a new audiobook called The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I think there's some lessons in that book that can apply to this very scenario, so I'm going to be trying to do that. The book also talks about how comparison is a joy killer, and so if that's something that you're struggling with, I would highly recommend that you go check out this book. Here's what self-criticism costs you. Your joy, your motivation, and eventually the thing itself. You just quit. I know I need room to make mistakes. That's literally how you improve. So when I tell you that I delete 90% of my photos and that it's killing my creativity, believe me. But the breakthrough came when I realized that this isn't a photography problem. It's a brain problem. These are thinking patterns that I've reinforced for years. My default setting is harshest critic. And yeah, some self-criticism helps you grow. But too much? It doesn't make you better. It obliterates your confidence and paralyzes you completely. So why does this happen? As I said previously, your taste can often develop faster than your skill. You may be able to appreciate an Ansel Adams photograph, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to immediately recreate his skill level. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Being able to recognize great compositions will absolutely help you grow as a photographer, just as being able to recognize great prose can help you dissect and learn how to structure and write a great paragraph. Definitely study the greats, just don't expect to achieve their level of prowess as soon as you begin your creative journey. As I mentioned, comparison is another creativity killer. Instagram usually only shows everyone's best 1%. When you're comparing your raw shots to a reel of curated highlights, you're bound to feel discouraged, just like I was. When you've edited a video a dozen different ways, or spent hours editing the same photograph only to move it to the trash, it's time to question your perfectionism. I'm as guilty as anyone of using my perfectionism as self-protection. If I never post, I never fail. If I delete all my photos, nobody can judge me. But the irony is, this also means you'll never improve. Sometimes you need to open yourself to constructive criticism and accept that you're not perfect. There will always be things that you wish were better about your photos, but that's no reason to avoid posting them. Even as I was working on this video, I was going through these same feelings. I wish I could provide a secret sauce, a life hack, a easy fix that I could share and tell you this one simple fix will change your entire creative life. The truth is, nobody can promise that. But what I can provide are a few practical strategies that I've been employing myself to ensure that my creativity remains intact. 1. Post before you're ready. Give yourself a time limit to edit a photo, let's say 20 minutes. Set a timer, and when that timer goes off, post your edit. This might not result in perfect photos, but it will remove that perfectionist self-protection. Commit to doing this, and it just might help you overcome some of those fears that I spoke about earlier. 2. Post your rejects alongside your keepers. I've been deliberately trying to do this more. I'll post photos that I don't love, images where the composition feels off, the lighting's not just right, or the creative idea just didn't land. And every single time I imagine someone scrolling by and saying, "Is this guy serious? This is what he's posting?" But that discomfort is the point. By intentionally sharing imperfect work, I'm doing 2 things. 1, I'm training myself that not everything has to be a masterpiece to have value. And 2, I'm inviting constructive criticism instead of pre-rejecting myself. When you only post your best, you never learn what actually resonates or what could be better. 3, the good enough mantra. Perfectionism says this isn't ready. The growth mindset says this is where I am today. Always keep your photos so that you can go back 6 months or a year and track your progress. Compare your favorites then with your favorites now. This can be a great confidence builder. Here's a favorite I took last year. And here's a favorite that I took this year. In my opinion, one is superior than the other. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Separate creation from curation. If you edit on the same day you shoot, sometimes you can get hung up on how you felt in the moment. If you can, try to come back to your photos after some time away. Fresh eyes see things differently. 5. The why check. Before deleting a photo, ask yourself, why isn't this good enough? Then write down your response. Often the reason is emotional, not technical. 6. Curate a learning folder. Rather than deleting your rejected photos, save them. That way you can review them, identify any patterns, and avoid those mistakes in the future. 7. Find your taste twin. Identify one person whose opinion you trust. Show them your rejects. An external perspective can help you break the spiral and help you identify whether you're being too self-critical. I still delete a lot of photos. That's normal. But now I do it with the technical aspects of the photos in mind. It's, I don't like this aspect of the photo versus this doesn't stand up to the impossible standard in my mind. If anything I've said resonated with you, please consider subscribing, and we'll see you at the next one.